Sometimes the people God chooses for your life don't enter with fireworks or grand moments. They appear quietly, almost unnoticed, at a time when you've stopped searching and started healing. God doesn't introduce your soulmate when your heart is desperate. He does it when your heart is ready. When your spirit is aligned with His purpose, He places someone in your path who reflects His peace, not your pain. It's not about chasing love. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts divine connection. The one God sends won't confuse you, compete with you, or drain your energy. They'll recognize your soul the way light recognizes its reflection. You'll feel calm, not chaos. Certain, not scared. Because real love doesn't rush, it flows. It's not found in noise, but in divine timing, in silence, and in the peace that tells you, this is the one. Before God brings the right person into your life, He begins by working on you. Sometimes you'll wonder why your relationships never lasted, or why people who once felt perfect slowly drifted away. It's not rejection, it's refinement. God removes what isn't meant for your growth so He can shape your heart for what is divine. Before He introduces your soulmate, He introduces you to yourself. You start to see your worth differently. You begin to understand that love isn't about filling emptiness, but about sharing wholeness. He breaks the cycle of dependency so you can stand in your identity. The waiting seasons feel long, but they're sacred. That's where God builds character, humility, and strength. When you think you're being delayed, you're actually being developed. He teaches you how to love without losing yourself, how to give without expecting, how to trust without control. You learn that real love doesn't come to rescue you, it comes to walk beside you. Before you meet your soulmate, God often puts you through seasons that teach you the difference between attachment and alignment. You'll meet people who mirror your wounds, not your worth. And through those lessons, you'll start to see what peace truly feels like. Every heartbreak becomes a teacher. Every disappointment a preparation. You'll begin to sense that God isn't punishing you, He's pruning you. He's clearing the path of distractions, removing what blocks your growth, and refining your standards so you can recognize what's real when it comes. The preparation isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. God softens your heart where it's been hardened, heals the places where you stopped believing, and strengthens your discernment. He'll place you in moments of solitude where you have no choice but to depend on Him. Those quiet moments will teach you how to hear His voice over your desires. Because when your heart is still chasing validation, you can't yet recognize divine connection. He wants you to love from overflow, not from emptiness. You'll start to lose interest in temporary attention and become drawn to authenticity. That's how you know He's preparing you. Your standards shift. You no longer chase chemistry, you crave connection. You no longer want someone who looks perfect, you want someone who brings peace. You stop forcing doors that no longer open because you realize that God's plan doesn't need your pressure, It needs your patience. He'll send reminders that you're not missing out. You're being molded. When God prepares your heart, He aligns your emotions with His purpose. He teaches you to let go of control and trust His timing, even when it feels uncertain. Every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every delay, it all serves a purpose. It's building the foundation for a love that won't have to be begged for. God knows the exact moment when your heart will be ready to receive without fear and love, without losing yourself. That's why He doesn't rush. If He gave you what you prayed for before you were healed, you might sabotage it. So He works on your patience, your faith, your boundaries. He makes sure your peace is protected before He sends someone who can share it. You'll start to notice the difference between emotional intensity and spiritual intimacy. What once felt like love will now feel like noise. And in that clarity, your spirit becomes aligned with God's will. That's when He moves. That's when the introduction happens, naturally, peacefully, and divinely timed. The beauty of God's preparation is that it doesn't just give you a partner, it gives you purpose. You'll realize that He was never withholding love from you. He was teaching you what love truly is. Before He introduces you to the one, He introduces you to peace, purpose, and the version of yourself that can sustain a love that mirrors Him. The right person never shows up when you're chasing love out of fear or loneliness. God waits until you've grown into the version of yourself that can handle divine connection with maturity, peace, and purpose. When you stop chasing and start growing, you begin to attract differently. You no longer crave attention, you crave alignment. You stop asking, who will love me? And start asking, who can I build with? God doesn't send your soulmate to fix your emptiness. He sends them to complement your wholeness. That's why He takes time to develop your character before He allows someone to share your spirit. The people you once chased start to lose their grip on your heart because your values shift. You begin to understand that love isn't meant to complete you. It's meant to enhance you. When you're chasing, you're often led by emotion. But when you're growing, you're led by wisdom. You start to set boundaries that protect your peace. You stop tolerating inconsistency because you've learned the difference between connection and distraction. The person meant for you won't pull you away from God. They'll pull you closer. But before that person comes, you have to learn to walk alone without feeling empty. God uses that solitude to show you your strength. He teaches you to be content in your own company so that when love arrives, it won't become your identity. You'll love from abundance, not from need. That shift changes everything about how you see relationships. Growth also changes your prayers. Instead of asking God to send someone, you begin asking Him to prepare you. You ask Him to remove your insecurities, your impatience, your old patterns that keep leading you back to the same pain. You start focusing on becoming the right person instead of just finding the right person. That's when transformation happens. You begin working on your purpose, healing your wounds, pursuing peace, and building a life that feels fulfilling on its own. Because real love comes when you're already whole, not when you're half hoping someone will fill the gaps. When you stop chasing, your energy changes. You become calmer, more confident, and more rooted in your faith. You trust that if God wants someone in your life, He knows how to make it happen. You no longer need to manipulate timing or force connections. You simply focus on growing, and God aligns everything else. You start to notice signs of maturity. Things that once attracted you now feel shallow. The temporary thrill of attention no longer satisfies you because you've tasted peace. You start guarding your spirit the way you once guarded your ego. And in doing so, you make space for the kind of love that lasts. There's a reason God hides some people from you until you're ready. If you met them too early, your insecurities might push them away. If you met them too soon, you might mistake their peace for boredom. So He keeps you in the waiting room of growth until your heart can recognize what's real. During that time, He teaches you patience, discernment, and spiritual discipline. You learn to let go of fantasy and see love through the lens of purpose. The waiting doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means everything is being aligned behind the scenes. And when growth has done its work, something shifts inside you. You stop begging God for a relationship and start thanking Him for the peace that comes with waiting. That's when divine alignment begins to take shape. The right person enters quietly, without chaos, without confusion. They don't demand your attention. They match your energy. They've been through their own growth, their own waiting, their own preparation. And together, you don't complete each other. You complement each other. The connection feels natural, effortless, and rooted in faith, because both hearts are whole. That's why God doesn't respond to your chasing. He responds to your becoming. When you grow, you stop trying to control timing and start trusting His design. You realize that the right person isn't found through effort, but through evolution. The one meant for you won't need convincing. They'll recognize your growth, your peace, and your purpose. And that's the beauty of divine love. It finds you when you've finally learned how to find yourself. Divine connections are never confusing. When God sends someone into your life, peace follows their presence. You won't feel anxious, uncertain, or constantly questioning their intentions. Instead, there will be a calmness that feels unfamiliar, yet deeply comforting. Confusion is the fruit of human timing. Peace is the fruit of divine alignment. God doesn't bring people into your life to disturb your spirit. He brings them to reflect His presence. The right one won't play with your emotions or test your worth. They will speak to your soul in a way that reminds you of God's gentleness. You won't have to guess where you stand because divine love brings clarity. You won't have to chase their attention because divine connection flows naturally, without manipulation or fear. Before God sends peace through another person, He teaches you to recognize what peace truly feels like on your own. That's why He allows you to experience relationships that bring chaos. Those experiences reveal what His peace is not. You'll start to notice the difference between someone who excites your flesh and someone who nourishes your spirit. One feels like constant highs and lows. The other feels like quiet stability. God wants you to grow wise enough to tell the difference, so you never confuse emotional intensity with spiritual connection again. He wants you to understand that love isn't supposed to drain you, it's supposed to ground you. When the right person comes, you won't have to fight for consistency or prove your worth, because they'll value you effortlessly. When you're connected divinely, conversations flow deeper. You start talking about purpose, faith, and growth instead of just surface-level desires. There's mutual respect, mutual peace, and mutual trust. The connection doesn't pull you away from God. It draws you closer to Him. Together, you both start reflecting something sacred, something that feels bigger than just two people. You begin to realize that this love isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. You can sense that God's hand is guiding both hearts to move in harmony. That's why divine connections feel peaceful even when life gets difficult. They bring balance, not chaos. Confusion usually comes when we try to hold on to what God is trying to remove. But when the connection is from Him, there's no resistance. You don't have to force anything to make it work. You don't have to beg for attention or chase reassurance. You simply exist in a space of calm assurance that this is right. The right person won't make you question your worth or your place in their life. Their consistency will speak louder than their promises. They will show up, not just say they will. And in that reliability, your heart will rest. That's how you know it's divine. You feel safe. God's peace doesn't mean perfection, it means stability. It means that even when there are challenges, you both face them with maturity and understanding. You don't tear each other down. You build each other up. You communicate instead of argue. You listen instead of attack. The connection isn't about winning, it's about growing. That kind of peace can only come when God is the foundation. When He is at the center, ego fades and love becomes service. You start praying for each other, not just with each other. You celebrate each other's progress instead of competing. You feel seen, not just loved. Before this kind of connection appears, God will often take away everything that imitates peace but doesn't carry it. He'll remove relationships that give you temporary excitement but lasting confusion. He'll close doors you wanted open because He knows what's behind them isn't sustainable. It hurts at first, but that loss becomes protection. It teaches you that peace is not a luxury, it's a requirement. And once you've tasted true peace, you'll never settle for confusion again. So when the right one finally walks into your life, it won't feel like a whirlwind. It'll feel like coming home. You won't question their intentions because their presence alone will calm your spirit. There will be no games, no doubt, no anxiety. just a steady assurance that this is what God intended. Divine connections bring peace because they reflect the nature of the one who sent them. They don't drain you, they align you. They don't confuse you, they confirm you. They remind you that real love feels like rest for the soul. God's timing is never based on human desire, but divine purpose. When it comes to love, He doesn't match people based on attraction alone. He aligns them through purpose. You might have met people who seemed perfect for a moment, but couldn't stay because they weren't part of your long-term calling. God's plan for your relationships is far greater than temporary comfort. It's about destiny. When your purpose aligns with His will, that's when He begins to align the right person beside you. Sometimes it feels like He's delaying, but in reality, He's designing. He's arranging moments, preparing hearts, and shaping both lives so that when the introduction happens, it won't just make emotional sense. It will make spiritual sense. What God builds, He builds with intention. Every relationship He ordains carries a divine assignment. You're not meant to simply meet someone. You're meant to meet someone who activates your purpose. That's why God will often separate you before He connects you. He'll remove distractions and end situations that look promising but serve no eternal value. Those moments of separation feel like loss, but they are alignment. He doesn't want your life tied to someone who only fits your preference, but not your purpose. Because preference fades, but purpose endures. What He is doing behind the scenes is synchronizing your growth with the growth of someone who can walk with you in the same spiritual direction. Sometimes you'll wonder why He's keeping you waiting while others seem to be moving forward. But what He's doing in you is not delay. It's preparation for alignment. He's developing patience, faith, and emotional maturity because divine love requires depth. He wants you to be able to recognize a person's spirit, not just their surface. You can't walk in divine alignment if you're still guided by temporary feelings. So He slows you down until your heart learns to move at His pace. You'll notice that as you grow in faith, your perspective on relationships starts to change. You stop asking God to send you someone soon, and you start asking Him to send you someone right. You become more concerned about shared vision than physical attraction. You start craving peace over excitement and purpose over popularity. That's how divine timing begins to take root in your spirit. When purpose becomes your focus, your standards shift. You stop entertaining people who interrupt your peace because you know what's at stake. You begin to understand that God's timing is about partnership, not performance. The person meant for you won't compete with your calling. They'll complement it. They'll encourage your growth and walk with you through the process instead of distracting you from it. You'll know it's alignment when the connection adds strength to your faith, not confusion to your heart. The relationship won't feel rushed or forced. It will feel ordered and steady. That's how God works. He doesn't need noise to make something meaningful. He works quietly, carefully, in perfect timing. He knows the seasons of your life better than you do. He knows when your heart is ready, when your purpose is clear, and when the other person's spirit is mature enough to meet you where you are. That's why divine timing feels slow but proves perfect. He won't send someone to your life if you're not yet in the place where love can grow without distraction. He'll let you go through seasons that test your patience, because patience builds the foundation of lasting connection. When both hearts are ready, when both purposes are aligned, that's when the divine introduction happens. And it always feels effortless. Alignment means that everything fits without force. You'll look back and see that every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door had meaning. God was aligning your steps even when you couldn't see it. He was shaping your faith so you'd recognize His signature on the relationship. When the time finally comes, you won't have to question it. You'll feel peace that surpasses understanding, because what's aligned by God doesn't need validation from the world. It moves with grace, flows with purpose, and stands with strength, because it was never built on preference. It was built on divine timing and purpose. Real love is not born out of impulse or attraction. It's born out of divine reflection. When God is at the center of your heart, He teaches you that true love mirrors His nature. Patient, kind, steady, and pure. The love He sends into your life won't remind you of your pain. It will remind you of His peace. It won't feed your insecurities. It will strengthen your faith. That's how you know it's from Him. Before you meet someone who reflects God's love, He teaches you to receive love in a healthy way. You learn that affection without respect is emptiness, and that attention without commitment is distraction. You stop settling for love that entertains your loneliness and start waiting for love that nurtures your spirit. God's kind of love doesn't rush, it roots. It doesn't drain you, it develops you. Through the lessons of heartbreak and disappointment, He shows you the difference between worldly love and divine love. Worldly love is often selfish. It demands more than it gives. It fluctuates with emotion, and it fades when tested. Divine love endures because it's built on sacrifice and grace. When you walk with God, He redefines what love means to you. You stop craving intensity and start craving consistency. You stop seeking someone who excites your emotions and start looking for someone who stabilizes your soul. You realize that love isn't proven in big moments. It's revealed in small acts of understanding, patience, and presence. The right person will carry peace, not pressure. Their love will feel like a reminder that God heard your prayers, not proof that you begged hard enough. Before God introduces you to that kind of love, He heals the parts of you that don't yet know how to hold it. He'll confront your fears of being left, your habits of giving, and your tendency to confuse pain with passion. He'll teach you that being chosen by the wrong person isn't a blessing. It's a burden. So He'll protect you by saying no to connections that feel right in emotion, but wrong in spirit. You might not understand it, at first, but later you'll see that his rejection was your redirection. Every delay, every closed door, every goodbye was simply God clearing space for love that looks like him. When you finally meet the person he's chosen, something inside you feels calm. There's no chase, no uncertainty, no fear. You don't question their intentions because their presence brings clarity. Real love doesn't confuse your mind. It comforts your soul. It feels safe, not because it's perfect, but because it's pure. You'll recognize it not through butterflies, but through peace. The way they listen, the way they pray, the way they care, it all reflects something divine. Their love becomes a channel through which you see God's faithfulness. And together, you both build something that doesn't just make you happy, it makes you whole. Love that comes from God teaches you about partnership, not possession. It's about growing together, not controlling each other. It's about serving, forgiving, and showing grace, even in hard seasons. Divine love is not loud, it's loyal. It doesn't demand to be noticed, but it cannot be denied. It carries the fragrance of peace, the sound of patience, and the strength of faith. When two hearts, both rooted in God, come together, their connection becomes unshakable because it's not built on emotion. It's built on purpose. That's the kind of love that endures through storms and seasons because it reflects something eternal. The one God sends will mirror His presence in your life. They will remind you that love is not meant to be dramatic but steady, not chaotic but comforting. You'll see how everything you once thought was love was only a shadow of what He always had planned for you. The love God sends won't make you lose yourself. It will make you more of who He created you to be. It will reflect His mercy, His patience, and His peace. It will grow quietly, last deeply, and stand firmly because it was never built on human desire. It was born from divine design.